Let's talk salaries. If you're thinking about becoming a CFP, one of the top questions on your mind is how much will I be making in this career as someone starting out in the industry and as a 20-year veteran? Now, there's a lot of conflicting information about how much CFPs make. If you believe Reddit, CFPs are making anywhere from $0 to north of $1 million per year, which is not wrong, it's just not particularly helpful. Sources like Glassdoor and PayScale suffer from the fact that financial advisor is a very broad term that can cover everything from job selling insurance to comprehensive financial planning. Which is why I like to point people to the CFP Board's recent compensation study. In the spring of 2024, 1,200 CFPs answered questions around compensation, benefits, and job satisfaction, along with a slew of demographic information. With only about 100,000 CFPs ever accredited, that means this survey represents nearly 15% of all professionals, making it one of the most recent, most comprehensive, and most targeted compensation studies for CFPs. So what does the data say? Well, median salaries for people just starting out in the industry with less than 5 years of experience is $103,000. Those with 5-10 years are seeing $150,000. Established practitioners with 10 to 20 years of experience are making $225,000. And veterans of 20 years or more are making $325,000 on average. Now, there's two things I want you to notice. The first is that compensation is strongly correlated with experience, and it snowballs. Income isn't just growing by $10,000 every year. It's jumping from each band. Now, granted, these bands are not the same size, but still, it's roughly a 50% increase. So we're talking about $50,000, $75,000, and $100,000 increases as you go from novice to apprentice to established practitioner. The second thing results show is that there's quite a wide range of compensation outcomes, and that widens the more experienced you become. This makes sense when you think about the business model of financial planning. Other professional service providers like lawyers, accountants, and dentists are paid by the hour or unit of work. CFPs have more of a subscription model. So you're spending time upfront finding and signing on clients, but then you can expect to be working with them for several years. And this is one of the main reasons large banks and brokerages are investing in wealth management. It's a steady, reliable source of revenue. And as you become more experienced, your compensation relies more and more on your ability to grow and retain clients. In fact, the single largest factor in compensation is between whether you're an owner or a partner of a firm or an employee. The second largest factor is business structure. So if you're working in-house at a wirehouse, at an independent broker-dealer, or you have your own RIA. On average, those working at an IRA are making less, about $160,000. Advisors working at wirehouses and at independent broker-dealers are making the most, around $225,000 to $230,000 per year. Now, unfortunately, this survey data does not have crosstabs, so we can't isolate to just say people with less than 5 years experience working at each of these different types of companies. But I think it's safe to say that RIAs have the widest range of salaries, because you could be working in a single planner office with 100 clients and a few million under assets, or you could be working in a multi-planner office focused on high net worth families with $500 million in assets. Wirehouses and IBDs, on the other hand, have more of a up or out culture. So if you're not making targets, chances are you won't be having a job for long. One last thing to point out, primary business focus. As comprehensive financial advisors, CFPs can focus on people in different life stages and financial needs. This survey looked at estate planning, comprehensive planning, wealth management, and retirement planning. Not surprisingly, those who focused on investment planning made the most, $225,000 versus about $170,000 for other focus areas. That's a pretty sizable difference. Thinking about fee structure, this makes sense because investment planners tend to charge based on AUM. So as their book grows and as their clients' portfolios grow over time, they make more money, more than, say, a planner who's charging per hour or per plan. If you're looking at these numbers and thinking, I'm not interested in being an investment planner, that's not why I decided to become a CFP. That's okay. Planners in other areas are doing well too. And there are always ways you can set yourself up to outperform. Remember, the bottleneck in this business is finding and convincing clients to work with you. So perhaps you have access to more folks who are thinking about retirement because, hey, this is your second career and in another life you were an executive. Or maybe you have connections to solopreneurs, content creators who are thinking about how to use their current cash cow to set them up for years to come. Or maybe you're part of an immigrant community of small business owners. It's all about finding your unique value prop for a specific group of people. And it's okay if you decide now or later that you don't want client acquisition to be a big part of your job. You can be a salaried employee and still be paid well. Remember, the goal of this information is not to optimize your income. That's likely not why you're becoming a CFP. There are faster and less painful ways to make $200,000. You're considering this career because you know firsthand the impact a good or bad financial decision can make. So as you're thinking about whether this career is for you, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. If I made 25th percentile salaries, and remember, this is data from people who are already CFPs, so I'm making $60,000, $80,000 a year, would I be okay? Would my family be okay? What first or second job can I get to position myself to learn the most so that in 5, 10, 20 years, I can be making the impact and the kind of money I want to be making? And lastly, if I do end up making the average salary, so a little less than $200,000, would I be happy? Would I feel fairly compensated for my work? If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting the like button. You can also find a link to the compensation report in the video description. And if there are any topics you'd like to see covered, drop a comment below. See you next time.